We got 5 things Americans do that Germans find weird. This is going to be interesting for me to check out as well, because being from the UK, I can see if I find these things weird as well. So yeah, let's check this out, see what we got with this.
Germany and the US have a lot in common, and when I first moved here, I didn't really experience a huge culture shock.
Right.
But there were definitely things that, as a German, I found really weird.
Ah, interesting. Let's see.
Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. About half a year ago, I made a video about 5 things Germans do that Americans find weird, but of course, this also works the other way around. And over the years, I've come across a pretty good amount of things that are totally normal to Americans, but weird to Germans.
Right,
and here
let's see.
are 5 of them. Hey, do you want to grab a coffee with me, like right down the street? Sure, let's go. Wait, what are you doing? Getting in the car? No, like it's literally just 2 blocks down the road, like a 5-minute walk. Okay, so this is a situation that
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I see where this is going. I see where this is going. I'm the same. They would literally be at McDonald's like a 5-minute walk away from me, and I would just drive there. The shops, 5-minute walk away, I would drive there. There's a shop around the corner, rather drive there. So I'm kind of the same with America on this. I'd rather drive everywhere.
actually happened to me during my first few months of living in the US, and since then I've come to learn that this is way more than just a stereotype. Americans really drive everywhere. At least that's my experience here in the Midwest, where everything is pretty spread out and public transportation is more or less
ain't nobody got time to walk everywhere. We ain't got time.
non-existent. In bigger cities like New York, San Francisco, or Chicago, that's different, but here people really have to drive to get places. But the thing is that they even do so when it's not necessary at all, like in the situation I just showed you, or in this situation that I run into with Ben all the time. Okay, so we just came out of Kroger and we're trying to go to PetSmart next, which is right over there, like 3 stores over, right? And what are you doing, mister?
Driving.
Ridiculous. And to take this to the next level.
Right. That case right there is a bit crazy. If you're on a retail park and like the shops in a row, I wouldn't drive to go park closer to the shop. I'll just walk there because that's only like a minute. But, you know, each to their own, man. If he wants to do that, then fair enough.
Americans also run a lot of their errands without ever leaving their car because there's literally drive-thrus for anything.
That's so
I mean,
good.
I was familiar with drive-thrus at fast food restaurants, but then I come here and I see a drive-thru ATM.
Mad.
Like, what? Why wouldn't you just park, get out of your car, and walk over to the ATM? They're a drive-thru.
Wait, you against this? Hey, listen. I am up for drive-through anything. Bring it to the UK. ATMs, stores, shop, whatever. Clothes, bro, I don't care. Bring everything drive-through. That'd be better.
Pharmacies, that's also how I've had most of my PCR tests over the last few years, just in the car, in the drive-thru. There is drive-through liquor stores, most coffee shops have a drive-through, and even drive-through.
Oh, yeah. We have coffee shop drive-thrus in the UK.
Through wedding chapels and funerals are a thing. You really...
Huh? You have drive-through funerals? Huh? You really do have drive-through everything. That one right there is crazy. That one right, hey, I agree with everything, but that one right there, that's wild, bro. Drive-through funeral.
A thing. You really don't ever have to leave your car in this country if you don't want to. Okay, I promise I'm not trying to make fun of Americans. I mean, I do a lot of these things myself when I'm in the US, and I've definitely gotten used to doing this the American way over the last 6 years. But compared to Germany, and I know I said this in the last video, but compared to Germany, where walking is a very normal part of life, and everything up to a 20-minute walk is honestly a no-brainer, is definitely something I had to get used to. And
honestly, I went to the shop around the corner and decided to walk because my car was like kind of in a good parking spot and I didn't want to lose it. So I was like, you know what, I'll walk, right? For the first time in years. Bear in mind, it's a 5-minute walk. I came back out of breath, my feet hurt, never again. Never again.
I know that whenever other Germans experience this for the first time, they find it kind of weird as well at first. Another thing that many Germans are surprised about at first is that a lot of Americans don't speak a second or third language, even though that can be a huge career boost. But most American schools just don't offer a lot of language.
Yeah, same in the UK. Most of the people in the UK just know English.
Classes, and students aren't usually required to take more than 2 years of a second language, if that. Well, good thing that italki exists, where you can take customizable one-on-one lessons with certified teachers.
I feel like right, listen. I feel like when it comes to language, America and England can get by with just English, right? And that's because most of the other countries learn English, right? Like whenever I go to Spain, Greece, Turkey, whatnot, I can get by with English. Like people know English pretty well. Like credits to them, fair dues to them. They've mastered the art of taking on multiple languages. Je suis ni anglais. I don't know, bro. I tried doing different language. I would love to know different languages, but I suck at different languages. So, yeah, we just suck at it. But yeah, we can get by with English. So yeah.
That fit your schedule and budget. You can choose from thousands of amazing teachers for over 150 languages, including German, English, Spanish, French,
German, and Japanese would be cool.
And Mandarin. To book a lesson, you simply select your language. You can also set some extra filters, and then you can scroll through all of the teachers, watch their introduction videos.
Hallo zusammen, mein Name ist
Guten
Vanessa.
Tag.
And book your time slot with them. There's no long-term commitment here. You simply pay per lesson. German conversation lessons start at around €5, for example. And speaking a second language isn't only fun, but it can also increase your salary by 10 to 15%. Plus,
Wait. So you're telling me if I start saying Guten Tag, das ist nicht gut, das ist wunderbar, my salary will go up 10-15% on YouTube?
it can help you stand out in job interviews, and it might unlock your dream job. Equals the info box below and a €10 lesson, so 50% off.
Oh, my friend just said she's at this party and we should come. Do you want to go?
Sure, sounds great. Let me just get changed real quick.
In your car?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Huh?
Wait, you had all of this in your car already?
Yeah, you know, just in case.
And you have makeup in there? Yeah, don't you? My car makeup.
Okay, this one is pretty closely related to my first point, but it just had to be on this list because, guys, it's not an exaggeration when I tell you that Americans live in their cars.
Really?
Which, you know, makes a lot of sense.
Wait, so you're telling me, like, everyone in their cars is gonna have extra clothes, makeup, what?
Sense, considering that they drive everywhere and therefore spend a lot of time in their cars. But what I was used to from Germany was cars looking somewhat like this most of the time. Maybe there'll be like a couple shopping bags or a blanket or a dog leash or something in the car. But
my car is a lot dirtier than that.
That's about it for most people. While in the US, I've almost never met someone who didn't have half of their closet and half of their belongings in their car.
Smart though.
You need a screwdriver? They'll have one in their car.
It is actually really smart because there's been so many times where like, I've gone somewhere and it started raining. I'm like, yo, I really wish I brought my hoodie, right? If I kept one in my car all times, boom, hoodie.
You need a folding table for an event? They'll have one. And when I say they live in their cars, this also includes that some Americans will literally bring their coffee mugs and cereal bowls into their car and eat and drink while driving. And I'm not just talking about to-go cups with a lid. That's standard in the US anyways.
How are you doing all this? Like, how? Like, I'll make a coffee and go in my car with the coffee, but she's making it out like you got, like, you make it in the car. So you have milk, cereal, bowls, spoons, like the whole... Huh?
And I think the ability to eat a burger and fries while driving on the interstate is ingrained into every American's DNA. But Ben, for example, literally brings regular cups and mugs with Coke or coffee into the car, which makes me so nervous every time. And one time when I got into my friend's car and it smelled kind of weird, she just said, "Oh yeah, I accidentally spilled my cereal in here this morning and I think the milk is starting to smell." She's also someone who will eat noodles with chopsticks while driving. And she's not alone with that in this country. Disclaimer, of course, there are also Americans who have a very tidy, empty car and who never eat in their car, but it is something that I have seen a lot here, and it was definitely kind of weird to me at first.
Bro, that is mad. Listen, fair enough, like taking food in. Like, I took food into my car. I eat in my car all the time, but I definitely don't make bowls of cereal in there. Like,
okay, so we need mayo, pickles, and milk. Okay, let's see. Here's mayo.
bigger.
Here are the pickles.
Massive jar. You ready? Boom.
And here's the milk. What do you want? Whole
Massive
milk,
corn.
1% or 2%?
Jeez.
This is one of the things that I literally mentioned in one of my very first videos ever on this channel. Everything is bigger in this country.
Yeah, that's good though, because if you also seen they had the smaller options as well. So like, that's good. I don't think, like, she's saying it's a weird thing, but it's not really a weird thing because you got more choice, more options. That's perfect. If you need the bigger milk, you've got the bigger milk option. Do you know what I mean?
The streets, the cars, the houses, the stores, the drinks, and even groceries. And if you keep in mind that this is the size of a milk carton in German stores, this is 1 liter,
right,
you'll probably understand that a full gallon, which is close to 4 liters, seems a little excessive to us. But of course, a lot of this...
But you can get the smaller versions. You don't have to choose the big version. Sure.
This goes back to the size of this country and how spread out things are. And when people have to drive half an hour or longer to the next grocery store, it makes sense that they'd prefer buying things in bulk so they don't have to go to the store as often.
Of course.
But being from Germany, where it's normal to go to the store more frequently to buy fresh food, I'm still a little confused why someone would need a huge jar of pickles or a giant jar of peanut butter or a full tub.
Right, listen. I'm not too sure about the pickles, but sure, right?
Jar of pickles or a giant jar of...
You just said, why would they need a giant jar of peanut butter, right? I've never been to America, and I know how much you guys love peanut butter. So I would assume that you'd have a giant jar of peanut butter. So you could buy it once, and then boom, it'll last you for how long you need.
Peanut butter or a full tub of mayo. And why these American onions are so damn big.
Oh my god, they're massive. They're actually huge. Oh, wait, 69p for these? That's a bargain.
Thank you guys so
69 cents? That's cheaper than 69p.
much for coming over. I haven't made this dish in so long, especially not for 6 people. Just grab a plate and help yourself. Thank you. How long did this take you? Oh, like all day. And you want us to eat it from paper plates with plastic utensils?
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to do the dishes. But
that's what I do.
A dishwasher. Okay, this one might not.
Okay, in my apartment, I had a dishwasher. I didn't even know how to work it because this sounds so bad, especially being in the UK because it's not a very normal thing here. I use paper plates. I don't use plastic cutlery, but I have done. When I lived by myself, I had plastic cups, plastic cutlery, and paper plates. But now I just use paper plates, right? It's just easy. Why would you want to wash the pots? I don't get it. Listen, it's 50p for 50 plates. It is pretty much dirt cheap, right? You don't even think about the price. It's just... Why would you even want to wash a plate? I don't get it.
Not bother all Germans as much as it bothers me, and I know I've brought this up before, but I will just never understand why so many Americans use disposable dishes in situations where, in my opinion, it's really not needed, like at their own home. And I've seen this throughout different socioeconomic classes and scenarios, from college students using disposable dishes for dinner, even though they do have real dishes in the cabinets, to entire families using disposable dishes on Thanksgiving or Christmas. Now, of course, plastic and paper plates do exist in Germany.
Right, listen, you might enjoy cleaning, but I don't. So I'm gonna opt and choose. I'm gonna throw away my plates. You can have normal plates and wash the plates, sure. I'm throwing away my plates. I don't care. Listen, if I got the choice between washing and throwing away plates, I'm throwing away plates. If you want to choose to wash, Sure, you enjoy that.
But, and I think this applies to other European countries as well, we pretty much only use them in situations where using real dishes really makes no sense at all. Like for a picnic in a park, or maybe for a kid's birthday party where the children might be walking around with their plates, or a huge cookout where you might not have enough dishes. But if I have the option to use a real plate and real silverware, I'll personally always prefer that, because eating from a soggy paper plate with a wobbly plastic—
No, she don't know the trick. She don't know the trick. This is what, oh my, this is why she's having a night, like an awful time. Listen, this is how you know I'm an experienced paper plater, right? You Americans might understand if you do it. If you don't, then fair enough, I'm going to teach you, right? Let's say I'm going to have a sandwich. Boom, one paper plate, right? Sword, don't get soggy. Sandwich isn't soggy. Let's say I'm going to have rice with a little bit of sauce on the rice. Depending on how wet the sauce is, boom, 2 paper plates. If I think it's gonna be really soggy, boom, another paper. I got 3. You layer it and it's fine. It don't go soggy. It's honestly, it's as good as an actual plate.
Plastic fork and a knife that doesn't cut can really ruin the whole eating experience for me. Especially when you've spent a lot of time cooking. I don't understand why people then take away from that with serving the food on a plastic plate. And holidays are honestly the very last occasion that I'd ever use disposable dishes for.
Well, I've never used a plastic knife on meat. Like, you kind of know what you can and can't use it for. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I know that knife ain't gonna work, I'm gonna use a normal knife.
Like, if anything, that's when you take out your best dishes in Germany, which I know a lot of families in the US do as well, but as I said, I've also seen a few different families use disposable dishes on holidays. And the explanation is usually either that they don't have enough plates for a big group, or because they don't want to do the dishes after already having done all of the cooking.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says, bro. I stand my ground, and I'll forever stand my ground on paper plates. I don't care if you're from the UK, America, Germany, wherever you're from, right? If you think it's weird doing paper plates, you're just missing out. You're doing extra work for yourself. I don't care. I'll always argue that point.
I generally understand, but in most cases when I see this done, it's groups of 10 people or less, or even just one single person on a regular Tuesday night, and I know these households definitely have enough dishes for that. And I've also only ever seen this done in households that had a dishwasher, which is a very standard kitchen appliance in the US, and I personally just don't really see how putting dishes in the dishwasher is that much more work than putting them into the trash can.
Right, listen, right, you come to my house, and I'm gonna make you dinner, right? I'm gonna make you dinner, right? We're gonna have a nice dinner, right? I'm gonna say to you, you can have a paper plate or you can have a normal plate, but you gotta wash the plate, right? I guarantee she chooses paper plate. I guarantee.
To be honest. So this is something that I've always found weird, and I know that other Germans and other Europeans do as well. Will I still like you if you serve Christmas dinner on a paper plate? Yes, of course. But it is something I still have to get used to. Good morning, guest. What do you want for breakfast? Do you have some bread? Of course. Here you go. No, not toast, like actual bread.
Huh?
Wait, what do you mean?
Wait, that is bread.
This is bread. Okay, last but not least, we have to talk about bread. As you might know, Germany is known for the quality and variety of its bread, but here in the US, this is what people consider bread.
That
of course,
is bread.
You can find German-style bread if you look for it.
Wait, what?
But it's not the standard, and if you do find some good bread, it's usually really expensive. But for the most part, this is what you'll get in the US when you
That's bread. What's bread in Germany?
ask for bread. And honestly, there's simply a communication issue between Germans and Americans here, because this, to a German, is Toastbrot.
Wait, toast is when you cook the bread.
It's the type of bread that is super soft and that you put into a toaster to make it crunchy. We definitely have that too, but it's not what we mean when we just use the term Brot. That will usually refer to something like this, like a sourdough or Vollkornbrot. Or when we say Brötchen, which means bread roll, we mean something like this. But those are also different from your typical American dinner rolls. They're crunchy on the outside, and but those.
What is this? I've had this kind of bread before. I've had this, but this is quite nice.
Or when we
what's
say
this?
Brötchen, which means bread roll, we mean something like this. But those are also different from your typical American dinner rolls. They're crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside, and they're definitely not sweet like a lot of the bread you'll find in the US. Like when you go to a nicer restaurant here, for example, where they'll give you a bread basket for the table, it might look pretty good at first, like cut up baguette, but in a lot of cases it's also really soft and oddly sweet. Now, when a German looks for bread in an American store, it usually goes somewhat like this.
Why? What, do Germans like hard bread?
Simply put, this is considered a sponge in Germany, not bread. Okay, just kidding. I mean, half kidding, because that is really what most Germans think of, but of course that was put a little harshly. It's not like Germans don't understand the cultural difference and the difference in food preferences. And
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Bro, everywhere, I've been to many places in Europe. I haven't been Germany, so I think Germany are the odd ones out here because every time I've had bread, like bread with breakfast and stuff, it's came out looking like what the bread is in America and the UK, like the square. Bread roll is the bread roll. The big pieces of bread that she had, I'll just call that big bread.
you will even find specifically labeled American sandwich bread in German stores, and people do buy that. But to us Germans, it's definitely weird that what we know as toast bread is just considered regular bread in the US. And I think a lot of us also find it a little weird that there doesn't seem to be any demand in the US for what we consider good bread. What else comes to your mind when you...
Yo, I swear the UK is known for like the English breakfast, like the banging breakfast, right? Because you can get English breakfast in Spain, Greece, Turkey, all over Europe, right? And the bread that you get with the English breakfast is the square bread that the Germans apparently don't like. So I don't know. Interesting, but really interesting video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Subscribe for more content. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/LWG. If you guys want to check me out over there, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.